Good morning, everybody. We made it to Friday, didn't we? Now, what we're going to cover today is important. Why? Well, sometimes I get the criticism of, Casey, wow, you could be making better use of your time by only talking about the gospel. Or, Casey, you should not be focusing on this stuff. You should be like on the word, in the word, right? Which we do cover the word pretty much every single show. For those of the people that listen carefully, they hear us citing scriptures. We don't always go to the Bible in terms of like looking it up, but we are quoting scriptures almost every single show. You just have to be listening for it. And so my answer to people with that criticism is, until you understand the enemy, the gospel will not stick. Why? Because if you're only focused on the gospel, then the devil will be able to deceive you. And the proof of that is the majority of the Christian religion here in America. The majority are still deceived. So obviously, the gospel didn't stick because they had their blinders on and don't understand the enemy. So the most important thing to do, in addition to the gospel, is to show the foreshadowing and planning of how exactly the enemy works so that people can see his agenda and not be deceived by it. Now, of course, Jesus did this very thing. He had a mixed message, didn't he? The main message was the gospel, and then the rest of the time he was talking people out of or showing them the enemy and telling them, don't do this, don't do that. Drop all of your things that you think you need, the materialism, shed it away. He said, don't be involved in these pagan practices. Don't be a legalist and think that you have to follow verbatim everything they did in the Old Testament, which is why he was picking wheat on the Sabbath, remember? And there are copious examples of how Jesus, in addition to the good news of the gospel, also taught his followers how to not step into the enemy's vices. He taught them faith, didn't he? Ye of little faith. He battled with the money in the temple, which is what we talk about as well. We talk about how the money got back in the temple through the 501c3, don't we? So we've covered all these things. I just have to remind people sometimes because it's real easy to be a critic and a naysayer and to go along with a minority of people because it sounds good, because they go, oh, how does he know all this stuff? It's just too good to be true. There's got to be something wrong. Maybe it's that he's focused too much on the dark side. You see, these are the discussions being had. So I wanted to clarify that before we get into today's show, because today's show is a prime example of complete foreshadowing and foreknowledge of events that had not happened yet in this 7-minute animated film called I, Pet Goat 2. Now we're going to break this down. Some of this is going to be review for some of you, but there's going to be a lot of new information. Does this name look familiar? It should, because there's a person missing by almost the same exact name. Let's look through some of these things and let's break this down. This is the Heliofant website. And this is the company that produced the I, Pet Goat 2 animated film. Now, we had made some observations about the 7-minute film just before the spamdemic started. And it was about this particular scene with this backlit egg. Let's see if I can find it here. Here it is. And many of you will remember this. It was just before the spamdemic. And the backlit egg, this is called candling. And this is what they do to eggs when in the manufacture and production of FLU Pokemon stickers. Now, they also use this in normal egg production to see if, if the egg is okay to consume that hasn't been fertilized. There's all kinds of reasons to backlight an egg or candle an egg. But what we do know for sure is that this image that you're looking at here is also how they culture certain Pokemon stickers. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Tom will help you in the chat. Here's one such image. Scientists examines a chicken egg with a candlelight to check it. Okay, look at this, is creepy. It's like a crystal ball. And this is the enemy's obsession with the egg. Here's another one. Candle eggs. This is the Fluru. This is how they manufacture them. Notice the black cord. Notice the black cord wrapping around, backlighting the egg. Now, this was shocking to many of you who follow the channel, because no sooner had we discovered that iPetGo2 was talking about Pokemon stickers the whole time, then all of a sudden the spam-demic hit. Now, it took a while, but here we are a year later, and it's all about this again, isn't it? The Pokemon stickers. Now, there are copious examples. Here's one example of how they actually give these eggs who are going to be chickens one day. This is how they give them their dose of the Pokemon sticker before they come out. So this is a different process, okay? Not trying to stretch anything here. So in one process, they actually make the Pokemon sticker inside of a chicken egg. And in this instance, these will be chickens one day. So different, but this is how they do it. This is how they give them their medicine. And look at all the black wires going into these chickens. This is the serpent. Now here again, this specifically is how Pokemon stickers are made. And they're candling these eggs. Now, here's another image here. So it is very clear that this whole black wires going into the eggs is what is being shown here. Candling. So, what else do we have here? So this 2012 image was really all about the Pokemon sticker, wasn't it? Now, we also discovered that this was very visually similar to what's called the Orphic egg. Now, I'm just going to read to you about the Orphic egg in Wikipedia. And here it is. So again, we have a black cord or a black serpent wrapping around an egg. This is called the Orphic egg or the cosmic egg. Let me check in with you guys to make sure you guys are with me. And okay, good. You guys can see all this. Good. Screen sharing is working. Okay. So this is the Orphic egg, and it is that word, which means that it is neither male nor female. Okay. And here is the deity Phanes or Pan. Okay. So now we have a Baphomet connection, don't we? Serpent-like creature, Anenki, wound about it. So, the Orphic egg. Now, we've broken down the Orphic egg over the years, but there's always new information being updated with this. So that's why we do these shows, to bring all this about and try to help people understand this so they understand what's inside the mind of the enemy. So, Pan, this is the devil. Now, we know one of the oldest prophecies of the Bible was about the seed of the serpent versus the seed of the woman, wasn't it? So the egg really represents the womb. We've shown you that. And the dragon is the one behind the Pokemon egg, isn't he? Now, here's where things get a little bit weird. Because in looking at this 7-minute animation, iPet Goat 2, I counted exactly 19 children. Here they are right here. This is Lily. And we're going to break down some of these characters as the show progresses here today. But Lily, behind her are 12 children. She makes 13. Then we have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and finally 19. Now, this boy in particular is, I believe, I call him Boy 19. Now, it's weird because aren't we going through something with the number 19 in it? Yes, we are. And look what this boy's name is. This is going back to 2012. This boy's name has the word that shall not be named scrambled, encoded within his name. LUC0V1D. Now, it gets even more creepy. Because look at some of the description of what he is. Ludo means to play, and ovis can mean egg. Playing with the egg. The egg is a symbol of the potential, genetics, and of the soul. They're talking about consciousness. They're talking about genetics. Ovis can also mean sheep in Latin. So we have a sheep component. We have eggs. And his name also means illustrious in combat. Now, some could argue that LUC0V1D hatched from the backlit egg. And I'm going to show you the scene here in a second. But here's the backlit egg. Where'd it go? And shortly after this scene, LUC0V1D emerges. Here he is here. And the original egg disappears. So some people could argue that he hatched from the backlit egg. But then, would that make his head the shell that hatched? And what was inside? Where did it go? So, I see LUC0V1D and the child inside his head as two separate children. That's why I counted them separately. He's like a child within the child, like Russian dolls, right? Clones of one another. And if you don't think that he's a separate child, then you could count the kid in the box, the goat in the box, because he is, after all, a kid, right? So there could be 19, there could be 20. So what is all this really about? That is the big question, isn't it? It's about the womb, and it's about the seed of the serpent. Now let's read through some of these descriptions here that Hierophant gives and see if we can gain any additional insight into this. Let's start from the beginning. Now, again, these are the original captions. They haven't been updated since 2012. Foreknowledge of events to come. Now, some of this stuff is a bit new agey. Some of it goes places that I don't believe. But most of it nails exactly what is going on right now. For instance, the right-left paradigm. Now, we talk a lot about this, and they show it here. The right-left puppet, an additional layer of disenfranchisement, keeping you distracted while Draco weaves his web. What web is Draco weaving? He's weaving this web. He's making Pokemon stickers, isn't he? And we're all caught up in the right-left paradigm. So, We're distracted. They call him B.O.B. because there's Bo Mama and Bush. Both, right? Who's this other character? Lily. Now here, this is the girl standing in front of the 12 other children. It says here, and suddenly a startling realization arose in Lily. This apple is not mine, she thought. It belongs to someone else. Now, what does the apple represent? Well, many, many times in the Bible, fruit is described as children. Fruit of the woman, fruit of the womb. Be fruitful, fill the earth, fruit, 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 right? This is why the enemy mocks that by showing bowls of fruit before it's going to take out some children, right? So in I Pet Goat 2, she drops the seed or the child, realizes it's not hers, and it rolls over onto the floor. And then the seeds of the apple become twisted with the serpent. I'm going to show you that scene here. We've seen it 100 times. But what does it really mean, right? What does it really mean? The lotus emerges. Let's play this through. So there she is there. The apple rolls across the floor. And it opens. Twisted seed and the lotus emerges. Now, of course, lotus means Kamala, which was Bo Mama's protege, wasn't she? So here we are, and this twisted seed has begun, hasn't it? Under Bo Jiven, connected to Kamala. So it's all happening in I Pet Goat, and it's all happening right now with this Pokemon sticker. Now, what else do we have here? Let's go back to this here. Now, I'm not quite sure what this Sun Tzu is. Posing courageously those who would enslave her. She's supposed to be an Asian character, standing in front of the tanks, just like what happened in China decades ago. As far as I know, that has not happened yet. Now, who is Juan Pepito? Sounds a lot like a person that went missing and then was found dead, doesn't it? Now, I don't know how this links in, but that is sure very bizarre, isn't it? L'Enfant Blue. Now, we all know what L'Enfant was. Wasn't that on King Kong? Comet King Kong? On his shirt, it means like child, doesn't it? Infant. And this is the keeper of the flame. Now, what is the keeper of the flame? We've heard that before, haven't we? The flame was the consciousness chip, the artificial intelligence in the 100, wasn't it? Remember we decoded the 100? See how all this stuff connects together? It's one author. And remember we told you this, the 100 was about the two seeds, the fallen 200, because they were 100 days and 100 children fell to earth. So that was the 200. And they fell to a mountain like Mount Hermon, right? And we talked about all that. We talked about the combining of seeds and how that happened. And then there was like this AI chip that went in the back of their neck. And there was the flame, they called it the flame. Then there was a flame keeper, person who was responsible for protecting the flame, right? And so here we have this same theme repeating in I Pet Goat 2, but the problem is that the 100 had not aired yet. It would be 2 years before the first episodes of the 100 aired. So this is what we call another common theme from a common author, the enemy. And once you know what the enemy's after, he's warring against the woman, the seed of the woman, then you begin to understand the importance. Then all of a sudden our faith becomes very, very real, right? Because here's what the enemy wants to do. He wants to pigeonhole you into just the word faith and have no supporting cast or no supporting evidence to understand why you have that faith. Well, what happens to faith if you starve that faith of facts and information and truth? The faith dies because there's nothing to stand on, right? That's why this work is so important. Because if you're standing on faith, but then everywhere you look around you, you're deceived, all of a sudden, God doesn't seem so real to you. So you have to know what's going on. You have to know your enemy and how he's trying to deceive you. So, the flame keepers, the chip, the artificial intelligence, okay? The black goo inside their veins after their it's called night blood. So all this is happening right now. Let's go back in here. See, make sure you guys are with me here. Okay, very good. Now, what else do we have? What other characters do we have in here? Well, we have the madam whose letter shall not be named. Right? And we identified her as Wally Funk because this woman is in the top of a rocket ship. Let's play that part for you. Just like Wally Funk was in the top of a rocket ship. First, she's the oldest woman in space. Here's the rocket ship. Let's play this through. There's the rocket ship. We also know what that is as well. There she is in the top here. Remember this went up Blue Origins. Remember? She went up there. Okay, see this is, we can't play this. We can't play cartoon BOBIS. We're not allowed on YouTube to play the cartoon. I mean, with all the other stuff going on, but let's show you this here. See the booster shoe? Well, that booster shoe is the same booster shoe that Wally Funk has. Now, nowhere in any of the literature or any of the media do they talk about why she has a booster shoe. Let's take a look. Now, I'm not picking on this woman. I'm simply drawing connections between things that had not happened yet and things that are happening now. Let's see if they show her foot here. Sitting. Got to find her sitting. Do you know I'm not making any of this up? Okay, here we go. Here's India Times. Let's do a zoom in. There's the booster shoe. So you know I'm not crazy. So she is the woman in the tower. She's the woman in the rocket, right? Now there's better images of this, but this one you can clearly see there's a booster shoe there. Now what does that have to deal with? Well, I don't know this for sure, but polio was a condition that caused certain people to have shortened legs, short leg syndrome. Now, I don't know if that's the case with her, but it could very well be, which would be another tie-in about the Pokemon sticker in iPet Go 2, right? Wow. So, now we've done videos on everything we're talking about today, so you got to go back to the other channel, the main channel, which will be back there on Monday for sure. I actually also have a video that I put together on Candyman 1999 called The Day of the Dead, in which they take two CORONASHOTS's. And also we look at, in this montage that I'll upload on Saturday, we also look at the film with Sandra Bullock called Premonition. And that also has 2 SHOTSs in it. So I'll upload that on Saturday when we get the main channel back, and it'll upload over there, and we can watch that together on a premiere, and then we'll do a full show on that like on Monday on the main channel. So what else do we have? Let's go back in here. Helio fan website. Now I can't even believe any of this. This is crazy. Here's Draco, the sorcerer, unseen hand, and the spirit of madness, seeking ever more control through trickery, lies, poisons. Right? This was 2012. They were talking about this. Flags that are not real, that are false. Events. Mountains of bureaucratic and legal framework to basically vampirize and siphon off the energy of the inhabitants of the earth. He fears the light of day as he fears life itself and operates in the shadows. His greatest power is his hold on the issuance of currency. What are we having right now? People losing their jobs. Losing their jobs for not getting a Pokemon sticker. What else do we have here? It says boxed in. Again, this was 2012, but yet it's happening right now. Aren't we boxed in? We were boxed in. We are getting boxed in with the quarantine and the stay-at-home orders and all these other things. It's happening right now. And pretty soon they'll want to put a mark on all of us to verify all of our transactions and to also verify if we got all our Pokemon stickers, right? Original captions from 2012 happening right now. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys today. I've already got some headlines stacking up. I'll probably do a show Sunday, a pre-recorded show. Upload that for you guys on Sunday on the main channel. Let's go into the chat. Let that catch up for a bit. Now, of course, I don't have all the answers to iPad Go 2. And our understanding of iPad Go 2 has evolved over the last almost decade that we've been looking at it. There are no animated films that really compare to it. I know there have been some knockoffs that are not even close to what iPad Go 2 was. But basically, you can see that there is something not right. And they were basically spilling the beans, weren't they? They were basically spilling the beans. So, all right. I'm in the chat here. Man, I almost showed the cartoon BOOBIES by accident. That would have definitely got us taken down there. For some reason, YouTube's really sensitive about that. I mean, are you kidding me? With all the stuff on YouTube? Go pull up any music video. Oh, you could pull up yoga with no clothes on. And it's right here on YouTube server. But yet I got in trouble for showing cartoon chests of women. Wow. So you know they're after me, right? So we have to be very careful. Very, very, very careful. iPad Go 3, I think, was a knockoff. Maybe even a distraction. We decoded it, but there was really nothing in it of any substance. It was not even close to the quality. And, I mean, every single thing in iPad Go 2 had meaning to it. Every single scene seemed to, you know, because when you make an animation, everything that you see on the screen had to have been conceived, right? So there's nothing by accident. Because sometimes you can say, oh, that prop was put in a movie. It was probably just something. It was just a picture they put in there, okay? And the picture just happened to have symbolism in it. It doesn't mean that it really was related to the scene. People can say that about a regular movie production, right? But when you're talking about an animation, every single pixel is placed there on purpose. So there's something to that. There's something to that. All right. And that's what most of us have been doing, looking at every pixel in iPad 2 and exposing the enemy. Here's the thing. These people can't help themselves, and sometimes they make mistakes. So they put their own symbolism in their own entertainment, and they forget that we don't know the program yet, right? They forget that we're not hip to the whole agenda yet. And so they leak and spill things. And if you're watching closely, you can find this stuff. In fact, you can find it almost everywhere. You can find it almost everywhere. It looks like we're buffering. I don't know why we would be. Probably trying to cap our number of people watching. So stick with it, you guys. This is important information. What does it mean, the snake wrapped around the egg? Go back and look at the beginning of the show, and I explain what that means. It's basically the seed of the serpent versus the seed of the woman. It's the Orphic egg. It's Pan. It's the devil. It's the oldest prophecy in the Bible. Genesis. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, that was what I wanted to show you. And I will see you guys tomorrow with a 5-minute trailer. And it's a really good trailer. You definitely want to watch it. I'll set it for I don't know. What do you think? 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that a good time for you guys? 7 a.m. Pacific Time. Okay. Or should I do it earlier? 9:30? It's up to you guys. It's 5 minutes long. Hopefully we'll have the channel back by then. I think I lost the main channel at exactly 9:30, 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. So Saturday, tomorrow, will make 7 days, and we should have it back by then. Yeah, the predictive programming is everywhere, isn't it? It's everywhere. All right, you guys. Love each and every one of you. Have a great day. Take care, everyone.